All
Three,
right, cool.
2, 1. I'm going to give it like 10 seconds. There we go.
Yo.
Tell me about this Mexican streamer.
Yeah, I guess she was like a makeup artist, or she owned a beauty salon. And she ended up, from what it looks like, it was set up by like one of her friends, kept her on the stream extra late, saying, hey, come through, stay on, I have a surprise for you. And then all of a sudden, a guy shows up and shoots her once or twice in the head and twice in the chest.
Live?
Right on the live stream, dude. Like right on the live stream. TikTok scrambled to get the live stream down. But like the people were like, people I guess were recording it or whatnot. And, videos out there. Dude, like crazy.
This is real?
This is real.
Is it like Narcos or something?
Who it could be. Who knows what the situation. Unfortunately, it was in Mexico, so who knows? It could be,
Christ.
Could have been a shakedown. She could have stood her ground, or it could have been petty jealousy. Lovers, who knows, man. But the friend is connected. Oh, wait, they can hear us?
Yeah, we're live.
Yeah, I'm talking. You guys didn't hear about this? Everyone's like, wait, what? What's going on? She was a popular streamer down in Mexico. She owned her own beauty salon. She was streaming, and a dude just showed up and tapped her twice in the head and twice in the chest, right on the live stream.
It's crazy, dude.
I was just reading about it, and I thought it was like some bullshit, like fake content news crap, but it's not. It's an actual story.
I gotta be honest with you. I'm surprised there's not more, unalivings live, or self-unalivings, if you will, live. You know what I mean? It seems like some crazy people would really
take advantage of that.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Welcome.
What's going on?
All right. Wow, we got some. Wow, they're jumping in. All right, we're jumping in. So, a little housekeeping business. Our boy Chris is in.
Okay.
Not today, next Thursday.
Next Thursday? Cool.
Yeah. So Chris is like, for anybody who doesn't know, Chris Netzel, right? I mean, dude, this guy's background, John. You've known him for a while?
Yeah.
He's like,
he was a Marine. He was a cop.
You're sort of like half on like this. You're like, this is like what it's like to look at you. You're like that.
All right, you see me?
Yeah. So yeah, he's like an ex-Marine. I mean, and then dude, his charity is like helping out vets and active military and all this stuff. I mean, if I were him, I'd be carrying around a Captain America shield. I mean, there's like nobody that deserves it more than this guy. But he also happens to be a paranormal documenter. I mean, I guess he was inspired by you, if I had to guess, right? You've been doing this longer than anybody. So
I mean, I'm guessing.
But he's got a huge
I actually
following.
don't know how he got started. So
well, we'll find out.
I don't know.
But we'll find out. He's got a huge following.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I'd love to talk to him about that.
Get a different perspective from, I think he's from Texas. And we'll see what he's about and what the ghosts are like down south, I guess. Do they consider Texas definitely the South? Texas, I feel, doesn't consider itself the South. I feel like Texas feels like they're Texas.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Well, like they're like their own thing.
They feel like they're their own new thing. I mean, I think, don't quote me on this, but I think half the population wants to split off of the United States government anyway.
I think it's in there. I think it's in the Texas state constitution that they're allowed to split off. Or they're not allowed to, but like they have to do a certain thing and they can get.
Well, that's the thing. Like a lot of people don't realize, like what our country, the first big mistake people make with the United States of America is they think this is a democracy. That's the first real blunder of most people make. It's a republic, to the republic for which it stands. Right.
It's a democratic republic, though. But that talking. Listen, first of all, I'm cutting you off. That talking point of that it's not a democracy, it's a republic, is done by people who want to take away rights to vote. Because then when they do, they can say, look, it's a republic, not a democracy. It has been people trying to chip away at people's right to vote by saying and preaching and proselytizing
yeah,
that
but
we're not a democracy. It is a
listen,
propagandic statement.
hold on, real quick before we continue this. Am I lagging or are you lagging?
You're not lagging to me at all. Are they saying we're
Okay.
lagging?
Because the last time we went through this where you were lagging for me, it was actually me lagging the whole time.
You look good to me.
Yeah.
I
Let's
don't
just
know
see
if
if anybody in the chat, or maybe it was just a blunder. Well, listen, I think people use phrases and words for all sorts of things. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
one person can preach one thing, another person can preach another thing, and they can have two different views. Everyone in the chat is saying it's good. It's good. But
Yeah.
but yes, in our I believe it's in our constitution with the proper steps a state can succeed because it's the United States.
Yeah. I don't know, but
You know?
I think Texas even has something different, which is crazy to me. But anyway, Chris is a great guy. I'm excited to get him on and talk about it. I'd like to get a perspective from another influencer doing what he does, talking to the people he does, and
Yeah.
it'll be cool, man.
Yeah.
It'll be very cool.
Yeah.
What else
I
going on?
you know what I really like about Chris too
What?
is he is an advocate for mental health. He's always, as far
Yes,
as I know, he's always going on about. He's a big advocate for mental health. Which is something in this. People talk about a lot of things in this country that we're missing and lagging on, and mental health. I mean, I was at Letchworth Asylum last night. Where
yeah,
I mean, look how that place
obviously.
was. They treated the people that needed
Yeah,
proper help. You know what I mean? It's always been a very crazy thing in this country when it comes to mental health.
I know.
So I think that's an awesome
Ironically,
thing that he advocates for.
a crazy thing when it comes to mental health. It's
Yeah,
funny.
yeah.
How does he spell his last name? Chris spells his last name.
Oh, you're asking the wrong person about
No,
spelling.
someone spelled it out there, but I want people to be able to find it. Hold on, I'll tell you in a second. I know we should know that offhand. Come on.
Yeah, no, I don't know how to spell anything.
Netzel.
Nah.
And I think his handle on TikTok is like official or Chris Netzel official or official Chris Netzel or
Yeah. And what's cool as
you know.
far as like influencers on TikTok and social media in general, it's cool that he's going to be our first guest for this, and it's not somebody else because I actually really like Chris. I think he's a great
Yeah,
dude. I think he's entertaining. And, it's pretty cool that we're getting him on.
yeah. Yeah, he'll be fun.
Yeah.
He'll be fun.
Right, Foxy?
Right. Anyway. What else? What else going on your end? What's the latest?
Oh, not much. I'm trying to decide where I'm going tonight.
Oh yeah?
It's not
When's your
supposed to
next
rain, but
capital visit?
I'm not sure when the next one is. I'm trying to set up for a special event,
Okay.
and hopefully that'll be, it'll be good. But I'm trying to figure out, here's my dilemma, right? A lot of
Yeah.
people don't realize how much weather impacts what I do. Not just on a rain scale, on a visual scale. I want to show you guys something. I want to show you guys something. You're going to come with me for 1 minute. Are you ready?
Yeah. Let's see it.
I want to show you guys something. This is going to be the weather tonight, by the way.
Ugh.
So I don't know if you guys can see this.
There's nothing to see. It's just white.
Just white.
It's gross.
Just white.
Yeah, man, it's
And I'll
gross.
be in that. And after a couple hours, I'll get soaked
Yeah, it sucks.
from that. So that's what we're dealing with. That's what we're dealing with for tonight. So, but it won't be raining. And I
Yeah,
love being outdoors. So.
we gotta find you some indoor evil.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind more indoor spots for sure.
You know.
I definitely want to find some more indoor spots.
Where do you think? Obviously, where do you think would have the most indoor? You know what I'm saying? Like, would it be
Activity?
Yeah, like I heard, we're talking about nursing homes earlier on your live,
Yeah,
right? You
nursing
got to
homes.
imagine there might be a lot of nursing like.
Yeah, some nursing homes. The big issue is a lot of indoor locations around here where I'm at is, property value. We're looking, there's not many places that I can go that aren't in use, aren't being used. Like you go out to like, Bumblefuck, in the middle of the country, and there's tons of abandoned asylums and houses and, things that are just rotting that nobody's monitoring, nobody cares about, hospitals, all
Right.
sorts of places. Around here, there's not much.
Yeah.
There's not much. Everything is spoken for.
Well, we're assuming that it's where people
Well,
die,
I don't
but
assume that.
nobody
I
died.
don't assume that.
No, but I'm saying
Most
most people
people
are,
do,
because we're
yes.
saying hospitals, nursing homes, but it's like cemeteries. Nobody dies at a cemetery.
No.
Very
But
rarely. They're
listen,
already
there's
dead
got to
when
be
they
a
get there.
small percentage of people your great aunt, Sally that goes to visit, her 12th brother Jacob that, and she ends up keeling over and having a heart attack. You know what I'm saying? That's got to happen somewhere. So,
Right,
but it's extremely rare
right, right,
that
right,
people die at cemeteries. Maybe accidents, things like that. Because I've seen accidents at
right.
cemeteries. I've seen people run over headstones, all sorts of wild stuff.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah.
yeah,
So,
yeah. I'm just seeing. I'm seeing what the good people
well,
are
our
talking
good
about.
buddy Jamie here is saying the debate is healthy. I thought he said something else, but did he submit that song?
No, he
My
didn't.
favorite song in the whole world.
I think Jamie. I think Jamie's 3 days behind
Okay.
us. He's talking. He's still talking about republic versus democracy,
Oh, is
and
he? All right.
maybe he called me woke or
All right.
something.
Well, he'll
But
catch
it's
up
like
eventually.
I gave
Catch up eventually.
I gave Jamie a shot. It's
Yeah.
gone. He missed
It's
it.
gone, Jamie.
I would have played his.
Maybe you get lucky,
I would have
submit
played
it.
his
Maybe you'll
song,
get
but
lucky. We'll see.
maybe.
You catch him in a good mood.
Um, what else, everybody? Anybody have any ghost problems this week that we could solve?
Ghost problems.
I'm in the ghost solving business.
Yeah.
Who wants me to solve some ghost problems? I'm ready for it.
Gasoline in a match.
Let's do it.
Gasoline in a match. Yeah. So I'm
No, somebody put on dude. Okay, here's something I want to talk to you about because you'll know this. So it's so funny because I'm new to all this, posting videos and how well they do on different platforms or how poorly they do on different platforms. And some that do really, and for me, I haven't caught one that's gone viral yet, but I've got some that are in the high hundreds, a couple thousand, and some bomb on YouTube, crush on TikTok, and vice versa. It's such a different beast. And I don't have the kind of time to sit here and make 16 different videos of the same thing. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And it's like, somebody posted on one of the videos I made that it's like, here's how you know your house is haunted. Your house isn't haunted. Or something that was like, because there's no such thing as ghosts. And then he made fun of me. Right. So I was like, thank you for watching. And thanks for the troll-like comment, and then he kept going. So then I kept going with just more kindness, saying, look, clearly you have no joy in your life. And it's like, if you don't you're literally tuned into a paranormal channel. And it's like, this is what we do and we're trying to have fun with it. And you're taking time out of your day to say something negative. So, change the channel if you don't like it. But since you got something to say, you clearly have no life.
Well,
but then somebody got on his side and said, I'm the one with nose. And then I just was like, well, thank you for watching. You too, my friend.
Yeah.
And I said, and here's what I did too, dude. It was funny. I go, to prove you have no life, I will never respond to you again, but I bet 100% you're going to respond to this. And just to see. Now, I was hoping that would shut him up. But it's like, and it did because he didn't respond. Because I bet he's sitting there like, oh yeah, I won't respond to you. And it's like, yeah, because I don't want you to respond to me. But it's just like, man, people get a lot of guts. I do think social media is an existential threat to civility for the entire country. I mean, it really does make everybody
Oh,
a horrible person.
100%. 100%. And you know, listen, in 100 years, there's going to be studies on social media and mental health. There's going to be
Oh,
new sorts of disorders and all sorts of things in the next 100 years, all that have to do with social media. A
oh
hundred
yeah, it's a
percent.
mess.
There's just no way there's not. Because again, it's either they have no life or they have something wrong with them. Because why would you even bother getting involved in something that you don't believe in? You know, I
That's
don't
true.
believe in God. Therefore, I don't go to church.
Yeah,
You know, I
yeah.
don't like baseball. Therefore, I don't watch baseball.
It's
You
so
you know
nuts.
what I'm saying? Like,
It's like I have to tell everybody that ghosts don't exist, and I'm going to prove it by throwing it on a video that maybe 100 people have seen so far.
yeah,
I don't know. It's very strange.
yeah.
It's a whole very what people do. You know,
Nah,
it's like I could see why you would rather spend your day talking to ghosts. It
yeah.
makes more sense.
Well, that and you know, as I was saying in the live earlier, it gets to the point because I know that this will grow. I know Splintered Spirits will grow because we're fucking awesome. Okay, I'm fucking awesome. He's awesome. You combine us together, it's just so much awesomeness. People are getting pregnant. Cancer is getting fucking miraculously healed. It
It's
is
true.
phenomenal. But listen,
And we
sooner or
cannot be held
later,
responsible for any pregnancies.
nope. Or cancer's cured. We don't want thank yous either. We're
No,
not we're not greedy like that.
no.
Um, Sooner or later, this chat is going to be filled with people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And I want to be able to see the comments from the good people, not the assholes.
right.
So that's where trolling after a while gets annoying. You don't you want to see Jamie and Notorious and Hale and Corona and everybody that's commenting right now. You don't want to see some random person talking about piss coming out of your ass.
Skibbity toilets.
Yeah, skibbity toilets. All those gooners out there. Dude, do you know about the gooner?
I don't know what a gooner is. I
Oh,
don't know what
all
that
right.
means.
Well, first off, it is the most amazing word to come out of that generation.
Gooner?
It is the most amazing word.
What does it mean?
It's somebody who excessively masturbates.
That's a great word for that.
It's a
What
great
is it
word.
based on? Like, what? How did they come up? Why is it called that?
I don't know. I don't know, and that's the beauty part about it. Like it's phenomenal. I use it all the time. I use it all the time.
I got to ask, like, oh, the gooner.
Oh, it's the best. It's the best. Like you know, my son's hanging out. Or my sons are hanging out with all their friends. I'll see them, leaving, a restaurant or walking, down the street, and all of a sudden I yell out the car, "You're a bunch of gooner!"
Oh,
you
they
know,
must love it.
dude. They love it. They love it. They're like, "Yo, that is the funny," because it's the best. It's the funniest word out of that generation. Out of all, I mean, come on, Skibbity, Ohio, all those stupid words that make no sense. Gooner, for some odd reason, makes sense for what it means.
This is strange.
Yeah.
Should we worry? Should we worry about this guy?
Which guy? Hold on. I goon every time y'all stream. Hey, nah, that means he likes us. As long as you keep it in your home and not
Yeah,
out
sure.
in public,
Yeah, I
keep,
guess that's
keep
fine.
gooning, boy.
Keep gooning. I guess that works.
Yep.
So what else has been going on in the old ghost paranormal communications this week? Do you hear my AC going on and off? Do you hear that? Is that loud? Does it?
No,
Okay,
I don't
great.
hear it at all.
I saw in the news or online too. Annabelle has been in the news. Have you seen this? Have you seen it?
Yes,
They took her
yes.
to a prison.
In New Orleans.
Yeah,
I believe it's in New
I guess
Orleans.
it's it must be a promotional thing because they've got another movie about the Warrens coming out, The Conjuring.
Yes.
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 I was hoping to find like, first of all, I think I've seen one of those movies because fun fact about G, I am horrible at watching horror movies. I am terrified. I get scared.
Are you like my father? Are you like
Oh, maybe.
my father hides behind walls and then acts like he's not scared. It's the
No, I
funniest
sit
thing.
there on the couch and I hold my dog.
It's the
I
funniest
hold my
thing.
dog like this. And then like Katie will film me. She films me like and makes fun of me. Well, later I'm trying to find the video. I'll show it at one of the lives when she finds it. But I've seen only one Conjuring movie, which is the first one, which is and it's terrifying. I think there's like an old woman because as we discussed this many times in horror movies, old women and small young Asian children are clearly the worst demons, and they're like they're sitting on top.
Yeah.
And I think that one, the first one, is about which farm? It's like the parent family, right? That's the first movie.
That's that they call that's the house.
Yeah. Do you know anything about it? What do you know about that
The
house?
Conjuring house. Oh man. All right. So the first thing I have to say is respectfully, you can't take away from anything that the Warrens have built as far as their notoriety, as far as their influence in the paranormal community. You can't take anything away from them. However, that house, I believe personally, is more about mental illness
Well, I
than
just watched a
paranormal.
podcast with the daughter, right? Andrea Perrin, Andrew, yeah, of the family that lived there. I mean, she's saying she's seen aliens. She's like, do we think this is untrue from her, or is it like I don't know. I'd have to dive deeper into it.
You have to dive deeper into it, but like for example, like if let's put it in this perspective. You take a schizophrenic, right? You take somebody who's
Yeah.
clinically schizophrenic, okay, and you put them in a paranormal situation. You won't be able to tell what is real and what is not real. You won't be able to tell what they're experiencing, if it's all in their head or if there's an external force that's causing them to see whatever they're seeing, or if the external force is triggering the schizophrenia itself or any sort of mental illness. So it's so hard. But the more I dove into everything and the more I did research on it, it seems more of a case of mental illness throughout the family than actual paranormal. And it seems, and the Warrens allegedly have been known to do this, take advantage of people with mental illness.
Cass is saying the portrayal of Mary Buckout for the movie it was based on there is terrifying. Wait, she's not talking. Cass, you're not talking about the Warrens. You're talking about a totally separate thing.
No, but the Buckout movie, so of not just Buckout, like they based it off other things as well. So that's what she might be talking about.
I see.
So yeah,
I see.
yeah. But yeah, that's the
all right.
that's the so it's so hard to tell what is what when it comes to the Conjuring to that that house. You know, the Warrens are famous for other things too. The Annabelle doll has nothing to do with the Conjuring house. The only connection the Annabelle doll has with the Conjuring house is the Warrens. That's a story about, I think it was like two or three nurses that were experiencing all these issues and whatnot and getting all scratched up. And see, that's the other thing too.
Are you
When
talking
you
about what
dive
the
into,
doll? Are you talking about
yeah,
the
with the,
doll?
yeah, the
I'm looking up
doll.
the doll. I want to look up the
When,
doll right now. So it's
when
a
you
Raggedy
dive
Ann
into
doll.
yeah, the Raggedy Ann doll, when you dive into all this, there's so much like information and trying to figure out what's actually factual is near impossible. Like it's just insane. Like
Sure.
I was doing so much reading and so much watching and going, wait a minute. In these, 10 YouTube videos I just watched, there's so much misdirection and misinformation. It's not even funny.
How do we think that they got so popular? Because there's never, according to what what you read on the web with the Warrens, they have no real documented evidence. She claims to be a medium, but she has never been tested or certified by
No,
anyone.
no.
So it's like, because I wouldn't mind some of that Warren money. So like,
So they
what
do
do
have
we?
some evidence.
What
They
should
do
we?
have.
What should
They
we
do.
do?
Yeah.
How do we
Well,
warn
we
this
have to be
shit
the
up?
equivalent of ambulance chasers. If I'm going to be frank about it, we got to be the
Right,
equivalents of ambulance chasers when it comes to the paranormal. You know what I mean?
right,
So
right, right,
that's
right.
that's the deal with that. Um, but regardless, they do have some evidence though. Like they have
They got cool
there,
stuff.
there's been listen. There are two times in paranormal history when it comes to evidence that ghost children with bright white eyes have been caught. It's only and I'm talking about not pareidolia, not not like like, oh, is that something? Could that be something? It's happened twice in the history of paranormal. Once it was the Warrens in the Conjuring house, I believe. Okay?
Okay.
And the second time it was caught was years later by me.
Hey yo.
So they have some evidence. You know what I mean? Like it's not like they don't have they definitely do have evidence. The problem is that they allegedly have taken certain certain situations and blew them up to make money.
I guess they were involved.
Make it worse than what it is, you
They were
know?
involved in the Amityville horror. The
Yep.
Amityville. You ever go to the Amityville house?
All right, so I've never personally been to the Amityville house, but I did go in front of the second house, which is the house that they filmed the movie out of, because supposedly after they filmed the movie in that house, the house became haunted.
Right. I'm sure it did.
So I thought
That
that
seems
was
like a
more
cool.
interesting, the actual
I know.
Amityville house
Doesn't
itself.
that seem a little bit like a coincidence? Is
Well,
that a
I thought it was more
coincidence?
interesting. So I was like, I got to go check this place out. But it was just a regular house.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So you didn't get anything.
Unfortunately, there were people living there and they
Oh,
weren't interested with me like documenting. They were trying to get as far away from the paranormal as possible.
sure.
They said they didn't want the activity to come back. So it was very genuine. It's not like they were looking for anything. They were like, no, we want nothing to do with this. Things have finally calmed down here, you know.
Right.
So I thought that was pretty genuine. It made me even more interested in the house itself. So, or at least the story, like, how did the filming of this place cause it to become haunted? Like,
Right.
I just thought it was pretty interesting. But
Their
then
big their
what
big
was,
one is the Smurl haunting.
so is that the one with the little boy that they said was possessed with like 40 demons?
So that's the one where the Smurl family reported 15 years of disturbing behavior in their Pennsylvania duplex. Pennsylvania, by the way. Let's just point that out. Foul odor, scratches, shaking beds, and alleged sexual assaults by a demon. So that was the one that ended their whole. They apparently retired after that.
Okay.
Like that was the one that took them to the end of their sort of thing. And they made them. There was a movie called The Haunted that was inspired by them, but I think that's what this last movie is going to be.
Okay.
But I don't know enough about it. What do we know about the Smurl haunting? Why don't guys? If only we had a device that can help us find out about the Smurl haunting. And guess what?
I
We
mean,
do.
do you want me to hit up my perplexity?
How do you like Perplexity?
The only thing I don't like is it gives you limitations on things.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like sometimes I'll be like for example, if I'm doing research into say Buckout and I say, hey, can you compile me a list of, all the, the murders or the killings and the details? It'll go, Okay, well, here's a list of all the murders that happened from 1950 to 2025. But unfortunately, due to the graphic nature, I can't give you the details. And it's like, bitch, what am I paying you for?
Right.
You
So
know?
here's what we know about. Here's what the quick summary of Smurl is. Right. Refers to a case investigated by Ed and Lorraine Warren in '86. They're in West Pittston, Pennsylvania, between '74 and '89. So they reported objects disappearing and reappearing, disembodied voices, noises, physical attacks on family members and the dog.
Oh, leave the dog alone. What the fuck?
Yeah, right. It's like, so that's their big sort of thing.
Uh,
I'm gonna look it up on Wikipedia and see.
I know
I don't even know where
recently,
West Pittston is.
I'm not sure which case it is, but they dealt with a case. It might be that one where they figured out that the source of the haunting was because a 11-year-old boy was possessed by like 30, 40 demons, and the older brother finally came out speaking about it after all these years and said, "Hey, my brother was mentally ill, and these people took advantage of him and my entire family."
Uh,
And like that was big, and it was like, oh shit. So my whole thing with the Warrens and all of that, anything attached to them, is, was there probably something going on? Yes. Was it what they claimed? I don't know. I just can't trust what they claimed. Someone like me would need to go in there to these locations and do my own documenting to see if you know anything like pops up or is said that matches what they claimed was going on.
it's hard to say, man. It's just like
Eh.
these are fun. These are like fun locations these guys got. But that doll, man, really has a lot of action on it.
So it's I'd love to get my hands on that doll. I say it all the time when the doll gets brought up. I would love it. And honestly, people would end up hating me because I would probably do things with that doll that people would be like, "Oh my god, this guy is crazy," and then nothing would happen to me. And I'd be like,
Yeah.
how much of this is actually accurate? So people would end up hating me if I ever got my hands on it. I already know it.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, 100%.
I'm
Imagine,
sure.
imagine the conversations between the Annabelle doll and Frumpy.
Well, because because people they take it up very seriously.
Very serious.
So if
Like
you
for example, like that the Annabelle doll originally was like scratching two women, from what I remember correctly. Who
Mhm.
and the Annabelle doll then had blood, behind its hands. What would be its hands? Like that was one of the big things that were reported. So who's to say that another spirit or entity didn't do that and then went and touched the doll?
um yeah, dude. I mean, but it's like, I don't know, maybe we should try to have a seance around a doll and create a ghost doll and then put it in a glass box and tour with it.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's like, listen, how do we get Frumpy to come to life?
yeah,
We could, if we did it, probably have to look, we can get some blood somewhere.
yeah,
And then we'll do
definitely.
some, and then we'll possess it. And then it'll be like, dude, this is like a possessed, and then we'll
The
keep it in
battery
like,
be like,
we'll lock it, and we won't just put it in a glass box, dude. We'll lock it up like Hannibal Lecter, so people really fear it inside the cage. It's like, no, don't like, we'll cover its mouth with a thing. Like, it'll be like, this doll is dangerous,
yeah, yeah.
you know.
Well,
Well, the
it would
Philip,
be great. It would be great if we had the ability to do that. It would be awesome to create two. One that is not haunted and one that is. And just and have it tour around and then study people's behavior, how they react, and what happens
oh, you mean conduct
with
our own experiment and not tell them which one's haunted?
exactly.
Right.
That'd be wild to do too.
Well, we would just have to, right, but they don't know which one they're getting. They could be getting the placebo, is what you're saying.
They could be getting the placebo.
Right.
You know, they could be
It's
getting the
the
placebo.
right,
So I
right,
think
right,
that would be crazy too. But that, you know what? Listen, again, I'm going to say it again. You cannot knock what the Warrens have built. You
That's true.
know,
Someone was bringing up the Philip experiment, but that's, I believe, was a seance. The Philip experiment was a Ouija board thing. No, I think that's a
I
big.
can't I can't remember.
That's a good one. It's a good thing on you. You can check that out on YouTube. They show the whole
Yeah.
thing. It's crazy. Like shit's moving around. It's wild.
Yeah.
Um, and
And you
then
know what's wild too is when Lorraine went to do the consulting for the first Conjuring movie, you know, in her agreement, you know, she straight up said, I do not want my husband portrayed in a negative light for any of the allegations against him. You know, so clearly, you know, even then she was trying to protect their reputation.
right,
So we don't truly know exactly what the real deal is with them or any of their investigations. And unfortunately, because of all the allegations, this isn't like, oh, yeah, they're fake. You know what I mean? That everybody gets, every paranormal investigator, documenter, hunter, no matter what you do, psychic, medium, you're always going to get those allegations. Oh, you're fake, you know?
right now, John. All I'm thinking about is how to bring a doll to life.
That's what you're stuck on bringing
That's
the
like I'm
doll to
trying
life,
to
huh?
think about
Yeah.
how do we create Chucky?
Well, if I go back on my videos, I'm pretty sure that I almost had a little girl spirit, 6 years old, go into a doll at the cemetery,
Well, that's cool.
if I remember correctly.
And what happened with that?
I think my big mouth got involved, and I threatened to kick the doll if it moved. And I think I stopped the process. But she was talking about like going into the doll.
Well, I like this. Do we believe Amityville? Do we believe that story in general? That's a crazy story. So that was like, so then, all right. So the family got murdered there, and then another family moved in and were haunted by the family that got murdered there, right? That's the whole thing. That's the classic, like, get out.
That's the
That's the
gist.
very sort of, it's a good movie. It's terrifying.
Yeah.
Do we believe it? It seems, it's not like,
Do I think it's possible? Yes.
yeah, I mean, if look, we're not debunked. I mean, we're doing a fucking ghost podcast, guys. I guess we sort of believe something's out there, you know, and so it's like, I think something happened with that family enough to move. Do you know what? Listen, think about this. I can't think of anything worse than moving. Moving is a stressful, horrible situation.
Yep.
Imagine, and with kids, packing up, moving your stuff, like finding a new place, like the whole, there's nothing fun about it. So the
Nothing.
fact that they were in this house and it was such a horrific experience of something that they moved tells you something was wrong, right? Like something's at it, because it's not like you don't just move on a whim.
Well, didn't that
It's
happen to
awful.
the
It's
what were
awful
they
stuff.
called? The Perron family? Perion?
The
That's
Perron
the
family's
house in
that's the farm one. Yeah,
that's the farm, the house in Rhode Island. The
yeah,
only reason why they never got out of there is they couldn't afford it. They
right.
couldn't afford to leave. So imagine that. Imagine being in a house that you want to get out of, but you know you can't financially.
No, it's awful. It's awful.
I
But
wonder
it's
what
like,
that
how would
reminds me
you?
of.
But it's like, okay,
Who's
so if
going through that right now? Somebody we know is going through that right now.
there's
Huh. I can't remember. Oh yeah, me. I want to get the hell out of the undisclosed location.
well, hopefully we get some more followers on this thing and the hours pick up. If you guys haven't caught up on the old podcast, we have got 10 episodes out there, plus all the lives. If you haven't listened to all 10 on Spotify or YouTube, please do. They're pretty fun. And we got one coming up that's an interesting one. So we got a few of these coming up. And the next episode, 11 on Tuesday, is with a psychic medium and minister of spiritualism. Her name is Simone Key. She's been doing this for like 40 years. And she is the psychic medium who was a tutor or teacher at the Arthur Findlay School in the UK, who was one of the people critiquing and training our friend, Kathy Nadal, who we believe is
An
wild
awesome medium.
and awesome. So, and what was really, and it's really interesting. She has a couple of, it's just her perspective on thing. And one things is, look, she does believe in, and I tease her about it a little because it's like she does believe in the divine and all this, and the way she talks about spirits. And I was like, you sound like an AA meeting, you know what I mean, like a higher power. But she also believes it's an energy, right? So and she's not the only one. And there's going to be another one, a gentleman I spoke to by the name of Robert Ginsburg, who started the Forever Family Foundation. They've only certified, I don't know, 20 psychics, 27 psychics or something in their history. And they have numerous ones per year. They've been around for years and years. And they're the ones who are not for profit, mainly to help grieving people. So they really try to rule out charlatans, people just looking for money. A famous medium was like the Long Island medium. She was a Forever Family Foundation. She was certified by them. And he tells me, he's like, he's like, once we certify people, they tend to get famous, and then they make money. He's like, we don't make any money, but he's like, when they have our certificate, they start to make money. But also he as well believes in an energy, which, the sort of foundation of what we've been talking about here is what spirits are. And that sort of idea of energy. And I have yet to hear, I want to get on somebody who's really into the whole soul thing and because I want to get that angle in and see why. Like, what are they?
That's more religious.
Yeah, I want the
You
more.
got
I
to
want to
get
hear.
someone more.
I want to hear the
religious tone.
religious side of it, of like what they think it is. Then, but so far, even these two people who are spiritual, lean into the energy angle. You know what I mean? So it's interesting. I mean, it's like, anyway, it's just sort of where we're going with this whole thing and this idea of spirit communication. I never heard the Warrens talk about like, kind of a cool spirit. It seems like every spirit they've spoken, or at least the ones that are popular, are like, there's no Casper the Friendly Ghosts when you're dealing with the Warrens.
No, but see, that's the thing with a lot of people that deal with the paranormal. No matter what they believe in, it's always hell, demons, evil, And it's like, wait a minute, hold on, time out. We know that's not the way the world works. We know
Right.
that's not the way the world works. There's
Right.
good, bad, and everything in between, and there's a lot of gray out there. And so that's always my first red flag right off the bat.
Yeah.
Like, that's the biggest red flag for me ever, is when somebody's always about evil, 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 evil. Like, even at Buckout, spirits warn me about things.
Right.
And it's
Right.
it's not all bad. It's so that's always a big red flag for me.
Right. When it's
Always.
all bad. Yeah.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Brandon, do you know Brandon? He's one of your followers on the chat, or is he a new guy? He's clearly trying out his solid 7-minute stand-up set for improv night at the local haha hole in his town.
Yeah. Nah, I have no idea who he is.
He's just dropping dad jokes left and
Oh,
right.
wait a minute. I recognize him. He's that dude that's obsessed with you. He's obsessed with you.
That might be true.
I think he is.
He's got a solid 7.
He's probably sitting here doing it right now, looking right into your eyes, and you don't even know. And it's your fault because you were sucking on that popsicle before.
It was delicious. It was a delicious.
You got him going like crazy.
I got him all riled up.
Yep.
Got him all right. If I talk in a slow, low voice,
that's it. Do it. Get them all crazy.
It's gonna get everybody. Turn your speaker down and sit on it and hear the vibration of the bass.
Wait.
It's funny.
Little Howard Stern reference.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I haven't listened to Howard Stern in a while. I'm too busy with this. I'm too busy trying to talk to ghosts.
Yeah.
What else? What
Yes.
else you got coming up? What else is hot? So listen, Tuesday, so about just to recap on that, Tuesday with Saman Key. I think that's going to be an interesting one because, you know, when I was talking about videos that are popping and what's not, like she describes what trance is versus channeling, and that video on YouTube is like blowing up, and it's a slow roll. That's another thing about the YouTube algorithm. It's a slower roll than TikTok. Like that one
Yeah.
takes time to build. But it's just sort of a thing, man. People like that aspect of it. It's sort of a more of an educational look at what is mediumship and how to play it. And she came up with my favorite word, which is I want to wear it out, which is clairvagueness. In terms of people who are fraudulent, you know, people are they claim to be clairvoyant, but they just say the broad things. And she's
Yes.
like, yeah, we call that clairvagueness. And it's like,
Yes.
oh, so clever.
Yeah. Well, clairvagueness is the opposite of what Kathy was.
Yes. That's what's great. I mean, it's just very, you know, so anyway, I think if you're into this and you want to hear it, like, see this deep dive that we're trying to do on all these things is fun. These lives are just loose and fun and just sort of a little bit of shopkeeping and just catching up. But the podcast itself, we're going to get some good stuff. And then after our friend Saman Key, that's when we have our telephone calls from the grave. And that's a
Which
great
is,
episode, guys. That's, you want to
you
talk,
guys don't want to miss that.
we
You
take
want to check that out.
spirit
Even if you
communication.
haven't caught up yet, stop what you're doing, stop where you're at,
Yeah.
jump to that one, and then
Yeah.
go back and finish what you got to catch up on. Like
Yeah.
it is just,
It's a great one. I mean, you know, spirit communication, how tech, what does tech play? And, you know, how are we, you know, these things have they've been studied now and people are tracking them for years and years. And tech is not, you'd think tech might be making things easier, but not necessarily.
no.
You know, it's just, it's really starting to
Well,
complicate stuff.
look at the murkiness in what I do.
Oh yeah, dude. People
Every
hate it.
expert we've talked,
People love it or
everybody
hate it.
we've talked to,
Yeah.
most of them, not gonna say everyone, but
No.
most of the people that we speak to do not believe in the validity of the phone apps.
No.
They don't. They do not.
Oh, Fresca Girl, was that your mirror? Was that your video? I'm glad I could do it. So look, you know, if you submit ghost stories without evidence, the odds are John and I will either talk about it during a live or in a side video. If you have evidence, you have a much greater chance of it getting shown. You know,
Yeah.
that's sort of because we're trying to show some shit. But if you just got a story, we'll try to tell it in a fun way. You know, in as fun a way as possible. Somebody else left me a story. That video is dropping in a couple days. I made another video about it, which is pretty cool. But anyway, so yeah, no, the back to the phone apps. You're right. Sorry, John, I cut you off.
No, it's all good.
But the phone app, like I said, dude, I don't know what's going on with those phone apps. If the people of GhostTube, the good PR folks at GhostTube are to be believed in how it works, they're saying it's not a word bank. It's random. It's randomized for the radio one.
Yeah.
For the one that you like.
Well, they're lying. I hate to say it like that, but
You're saying there's a word bank.
Well, hold on. It depends on their wording because it's definitely a sound bank. It's 100% a sound bank. You can hear what they do. They literally take radio transmissions and put them in a bank. They 100% do. It might not be a word bank like GhostTube Original, where it's the actual words, but they're taking, for example, level up my business. You'll hear that on my live so much. That's one of those advertisements from the radio that they're putting.
So you think it's capturing something, some certain phrases and holding on to it somehow?
Yes, and it cycles through. Sooner or later, we're going to stop hearing the level up my business, and it'll be a different one. So it's definitely a bank of some sort.
But is that an advertisement? Because advertisements run for a period of time.
Well, yeah. So
you see what I'm saying? But you see what I'm saying? If it's picking up radio waves or digital radio, it might have pulled that because that ad is running on this. Somebody bought ad time for a few weeks.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't know.
Sooner or later it'll disappear.
It'll disappear. But you think it still might be holding on to that for okay.
For a
but
bit.
Let's say that's true. This is the thing that I say. Let's say that is the case. and it holds on to it. It seems really perfect for when you ask questions, man. I mean, it's just sort of, you know what I'm saying? It seems really perfect. Like, look, if I open this app, I don't get dick.
Yeah.
Where is it? It's Vox, right?
Yeah, Vox, VOX. Yep. Yep. We used to, as people in the chat are saying, we used to hear the Capital One all the time. So instead of saying what's in your wallet, I'd say what's in your casket, and crack that joke. What's in your casket? But
Oh,
it's the same thing. It's the same thing. And then the spirits manipulate that, So that's basically the way, like, for example, when I'm here in the tower, we'll hear about Shopify. Well, that's to level up your business. That's just a different one.
yeah.
But you'll hear the word
Right.
Shopify. In the tower, the spirits can change that to Shaba, which is
That's a
wild.
well, that one is going like, fuck you, John. Where's that coming from?
I think that was Ghost Tube Original. I think that was Ghost Tube Original. I have to go. It was low. I clipped it, but I didn't release it yet. I have to go listen to it. I think it was I didn't hear it. That was the problem. I was in the bathroom.
Dude, it was the moment you got up and went to the bathroom. She goes, fuck you, John.
Yeah. Yeah. That was Lisa. That we have a spirit here named Lisa in the tower. She gets pissed off when I use the bathroom. It's
So
actually really funny.
I've got Ghost Tube running. You might have heard 3 gobbledygook sounds
Yeah.
that make no sense.
Yeah.
Whereas when you've got it running, it's words. And I don't know if it's, it's crazy.
Basically, hell. Basically.
Energy changes and affects the app, which makes the sound bake trigger, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Or it's John that makes it trigger as well, among other things, because other people don't get it. I think there's some common phrases that it might latch onto, right? Like leave here or no or go away. Those seem to be some staples that you always get with ghost apps for sure.
Yeah.
So that doesn't really impress me. But when it gets specific, I mean, is it tapped into your phone? How would it know your name? I don't understand.
Well, now here's the crazy thing, though. Don't even worry about the name. Here's the crazy thing to think about. When I'm using Vox, say I'm at a cemetery and I'm using Vox, and I'm standing in front of a headstone, and it says the name on the headstone.
Yes.
Right?
I mean, what are we talking about here, man?
A logical person would turn around. I'm going to play devil's advocate here. A logical person will turn around and say, oh, well, the phone that John is using for Vox must be facing the headstone. Great argument. That would be excellent, and I could back that up 100% if the phone wasn't strapped to my wrist down to the side when I'm standing there.
And
or pointed up while I'm having a cigarette. You know what I'm saying?
Location's
right
off,
here.
right? Yeah.
Like that's how it rests. It's not like I'm facing like this, so.
And your location's off too, right?
What happened?
And your location's off too,
My
right?
location's off, yes. Yes, the
I don't know how to
location's
pronounce
off.
this girl name, but I like when I see a Facebook person like Rhiannon Mustapik. That's a crazy name. I'm probably saying it wrong, but welcome.
So that's where it gets crazy. Because listen, I sit here and I ignore a lot of shit that comes out of these spirit boxes. And I do it for a multitude of reasons. But one of them is because of my skepticism. Like, for example, people get hung up when the spirit box says pamphlet. Lately it's been saying pamphlet constantly. Yeah. And it's like, who gives a shit? If that's all it's saying, who gives a shit? Like, okay, that might be something, but the spirits aren't telling us. So why do I care? Why am I going to get hung up on it? No, I'm just going to keep, keep trucking.
Jeff Virgil just got here. He's saying he's sorry he's late. Sorry, guys. We got to start over. We got to start the whole thing over because Jeff's here.
Whole thing over.
We're going to start from the back. Jeff, just for you, babe. We're going to start
Jeff,
over.
you came just in time because I have a little announcement I'm making. I have a little announcement, Jeff. I have strict rules when I do this about how I perform professionally. All right. I don't like to go to places.
About ghosts?
I don't like to go to places that I'm not invited. Okay. I don't like to go to places that's illegal. where I'm not supposed to be there unless I get permission.
Right.
Okay. But going back into the Warrens, going back into the Conjuring, the house in Rhode Island, okay, used to be open to the public. There was a whole business snafu that happened. They lost their licensing or whatever. The business fell apart. They're no longer allowed to operate it in Rhode Island. Okay. The house is sitting there abandoned. It's still owned by the person who owns it, but they don't live there. The house just sits and nothing is going on. I'm going to Rhode Island and I'm going to the fucking house. I'm not going to break into the house. That I'm not going to do. That's just against the law.
Yeah, I don't think anybody would think you're, from the looks of you, that you're a cat burglar.
Yeah. I'm going to walk the property and I want to see what the spirits have to say. Because if the spirits are outside, I'm going to pick up stuff on the outside. I mean, if they're inside, I'll definitely pick up stuff on the outside. And I want to see, I just want to, even if I'm like in the street facing the house.
Right. What do we think's in that house, though? Why would we think?
Dude,
You're talking about you're talking about the Perrin family farm or the
yes.
the Conjuring? Is that what you're saying is the Conjuring house or their old house where they used to keep their all their creepy shit?
No. The Conjuring house is the Perrin family farm in Rhode Island.
Oh, okay. I thought the Conjuring house
Not
was
the Warren
their
Museum.
house. Oh, okay.
Not the Warren Museum.
That's a different thing.
That's a different thing.
All right.
So I'm gonna go there. Not gonna break in, obviously. That's crazy. I'm gonna go see what I can hear. All right. What do I think is there? I don't know.
Right.
There's just so much speculation. There's just so much BS rooted with the place as well. I'm curious to what I'm going to pick up. I mean, listen, what's the name of that entity? Bashaba. Supposedly there was a woman there that worshipped the devil, that killed children. Who knows how fucking real all that is? There could have been a woman named there, Bathsheba, that was just a little off. Who's to say that she was worshiping the devil and killing children, right? We don't know. Supposedly, there's tons of soldiers that are on the property. I've heard so many different things. I'm
Right.
just very curious as to what I will pick up.
Yeah, me too.
That's what I'm curious about. What am I gonna pick up? Being raw, unbiased, and just going in there and on the outside of the property, and
Right.
seeing what's up.
That's right, Spicy Kitten. We are unfiltered. We have no mods.
No mods.
That's right. No mods. Unfiltered.
No mods.
Unfiltered. Splintered Spirits. Unfiltered.
Unaffected by rule.
No rule.
Unruly.
No laws. All ghosts.
Wild.
Just wild ghosts.
And people. So yeah.
People.
So I don't know when I'm going. It's definitely going to be in the next couple of weeks now.
I can't wait to get to LA. I hope that happens because we'll have some
that's going to be
ghosts
fun too.
here.
August.
Yeah, we'll have some fun and do that.
Yeah.
We'll get some real shit.
Yep.
All right, guys, what can I tell you here? So I need this family of fans to listen to the podcast, to subscribe. Look, man, if you like this thing, subscribe, follow, listen, and tell us what you want to hear. I mean, we're live every week. This is a good place to try shit out and give you guys some, answer your questions. The AMAs, man, ask me anything.
Yeah.
That's what we'll try to do. We'll try to answer on it. You know what I mean? You're dead.
Yeah. I mean, listen, and don't forget about your ghost stories. If you got any ghost stories with some evidence, we would love to hear it and see it.
Yeah. Oh, evidence is the shit. If you've got evidence, we'll have some real fun with that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really the best thing. Evidence would be great. But we like your ghost stories too, man, because I need to make some fun videos and I like goofing on it. And it's like, And I don't mean to be goofing on it. I'm not saying it didn't happen, but I'm just saying I hope you understand that. I'm giving my impression of what I would do if I was in that situation, which is probably run because I'm a big pussy. I don't want to say what a ghost. It's like I'm
Oh,
getting out of
lotto
there.
numbers. You know what, Mona May? That's actually really interesting because they have lotto in LA, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that would
Mo-
be really interesting if we went and we did like let the spirits guessing the lotto numbers,
but
and we
yeah, it's
try
like,
it out.
look, guys, I got some PT, what would you call it? Post-traumatic ghost disorder, or I could call it PTSD, post-traumatic spirit disorder from the
Yeah.
March Madness, because they did me dirty.
Yeah.
We had a couple wins in day one, but then day two went to total shit.
Yeah.
And
They did you guys so dirty.
I lost my whole bracket in the second day of the tournament.
Yep.
So yeah, man, I got post-traumatic spirit disorder. So I don't
Yeah.
know if I want to put money down based on their whatever numbers they're going to give me. It's
I
going to be
know.
horse shit.
It's a gamble.
It's total gamble.
It's a gamble for sure. I mean, that's the whole
But
point. And now we
Mona
just
May, if
haven't.
you want to give us some money to put on those numbers for you, we will
You get
gladly
10%.
for a fee. We will
10% of
gladly
that
do
winnings
it.
goes to you. We hit big.
You know,
Guess what?
yeah. We'll take
Wait.
actually we'll take we'll give her the majority of it, but we will be taking the 10% for
Oh,
being
we can do that too.
for
That's very generous.
channeling for
Then
channeling
20%.
the
Then
spirit
20%.
for channeling the spirit numbers to you and giving you that privilege of winning based on the spirits. We are going to take a cut.
A cut. I don't
Shit's
know why, but that old Sesame Street 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
in
8, 9,
everybody's head.
10, 11, 12 just popped into my fucking head.
It's like, dude,
Remember
this
that from
ain't
the 70s?
of course, dude. Look, this ain't ghost friends. This is ghost business. You know what I'm saying?
Ghost business.
We ain't in the ghost friend business. We're in
Ghost
just straight
business.
ghost business.
That's it.
You
Ghostly
know what I mean?
business, yo.
What do you got going on
Ghostly
tonight?
business.
So, what's your plan for tonight while we wrap this up?
Oh man, I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to figure out where I'm going. I mean, dude, I don't know if I want to go to a cemetery. I
It's
don't know
raining
if I
still.
want to go to Buckout. I don't know if I want to go to see if Ann Purdy's back at the pre-Revolutionary War burial ground. Um,
Why don't you just go
I
to the
don't know
base?
what
Why
I
don't you just
want
go
to
to the
do.
fireplace room? It's raining outside.
Fireplace room.
Let's see what
I don't
Edward
know.
does.
That's a bonus session right there.
Oh, they like
You
it. They
know?
like it. They like it too much. They got to earn it.
Yeah. That's that place is. I can't stand the undisclosed location, to be
Mm.
honest with you. You know, I really don't like it.
You
The
setting up some
field's
bad
okay.
energy.
The field's okay. The fireplace room, I could take or leave. The abandoned side in the incinerator room, I'm not a big fan of. One for just the atmosphere of the incinerator room and the breathing and whatnot, and the abandoned side because I don't feel like taking a brick to the face.
Why
Um,
would you? Why would
yeah,
anyone?
exactly. The field's all right though. The field's nice, array of spirits out there coming through. But yeah, it's like going back like I said, like I want to get out of there so bad. Like I'm doing everything in my power to get out of that place.
Um,
It's just not a good place. And listen, sooner or later, pipes are gonna break in that motherfucker. The management's not gonna do anything about it, and the
they're gonna expect you
fireplace
to
room
do
will
it,
be lost. Like
right? They expect you to
so.
do it. They're gonna expect you to fix it.
Yeah, okay, that's not happening. That's not happening. I mean, the place is crumbling. You know what I'm saying? Place is crumbling
I'll
as
miss
we speak.
Edward.
It's
I
crumbling.
will miss Edward when you leave there.
Yeah,
But all right,
yeah.
guys. Now we're rambling. So
Rambling strong.
we're gonna wrap
Well, it's
this
been an
all up.
hour.
It's been a
It's
good
been an
hour.
hour. Thank you, everybody.
I'll try
Appreciate
to find
everyone
that.
that
I'll try to
came
find that
in.
video of me scared.
Yeah,
Which would be funny.
that would be funny.
Oh,
Guys,
and
thank you.
yeah, thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. Please follow, like, subscribe wherever the podcast is. Splintered Spirits. Go to the website, sign up for our mailing list. Don't miss an episode. We got some fun ones coming out, especially Tuesday. Tuesday. Splintered Spirits. John, it's been fun. Be
Yeah, Harry.
careful tonight.
Always.
Get that bear spray. You know what for.
Oh, I know.
All right, everybody. Adios.
Later. What's up?
Hey, John. So look, we're off the air. So I ended the live. So did you do what you said you were going to do when we yesterday about taking the notes from all what we got to send back?
I lost communication with the mothership. I lost clear communication with the mothership. That's why I didn't go out anywhere today. I could have went out to the cemetery, whatever. I couldn't do it. I was working on I can't get the components. I can't get the components.
What do we
They're
need
not
to
on
get?
Earth.
What do we need to get?
Earth. I don't know what to do. Human technology has not reached the pinnacle yet. We're fucked. We're stranded here unless they realize that we can't communicate with them.
So I got to start all this all over again, because then it becomes, this has been all the data I'm collecting from all of these fucking people who are like feeding us information. Now I've got to go and get more of it because we're missing
Oh yeah, we only had one shot to send it and it gone.
All right, dude. We'll all right. I'm gonna go. We'll pick this up later.
All right, and listen, we can't send it, and I don't want to shoot another shot until we know we have clear communication with the mothership. That's the problem.
I'll pick it. All right, I'll figure out what's going on. Let me see if I can dial it.
I just hope it's not some like cross-dimensional wormhole with another reality.
Yeah. All right, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
Then we're screwed.
Let me try on my end. You know that here in LA, we're a little bit closer to the ship, so let me figure this out.
Yeah, and the other problem I'm having too is my hologram family is falling apart. Like I've had to call one of my kids out for school all week because I can't get them up and running again. I really don't know what we're gonna do. You know what's gonna happen next? We're gonna be live, and these people are gonna see our true forms.
At least he's in public school, and they're not keeping track of that very well.
Yeah, I know. That's the only good thing. Human society is so fucking retarded. You know.
Yeah. I don't think you're allowed to say that, but you shouldn't say that word. But anyway, we'll figure this out.
I know. I will. Well, it means something different for us.
Right. All right. I will talk to you. We'll figure this out later. All right, brother.
All right.